Hi everyone, my name is Kai and welcome to our review for A Quiet Place Part 2, the long-awaited sequel to the 2018's A Quiet Place, brought to you by Paramount Pictures, and also director John Krasinski, who also stars in the film, also Emily Blunt, Cillian Murphy, Millicent Simmonds, and Noah Jupe. So basically, just before we start this review, I just wanted to say that this is perhaps one of my most anticipated films for 2021. Of course, it was supposed to come out last year, when it was supposed to come out earlier on in the year of 2021, but unfortunately due to the pandemic and other things, they decided to push it back now, and this is the time when I finally got a chance to watch it. So without the way, let's jump straight into this review. So basically, A Quiet Place 2 kind of starts off from the beginning of the first one, whereby we actually get some backstory into our characters who are going to be in the film. And not only that, we also get some backstory of how the monsters kind of come in to our planet and onto our, basically, world. And I've got to say that I think this is perhaps the start of the film which I prefer as opposed to the first one. And not just that, but I think it really sets the tone for what kind of film we're going to get. Because in the first one, everything is more or less more suspenseful and you don't really get to see a lot of the monsters. But in this one, you're seeing them doing, like, just craziness. I'm talking like just spinning around, taking people out, dragging people, throwing people up in the sky. This film, for me, is one of those films where I'm so glad that it didn't let me down, because in other times, in other films, like The Wrong Turn, which I was very anticipated for, this one doesn't fail to deliver. And I've got to say that if you haven't seen A Quiet Place 1 and you haven't seen A Quiet Place 2, or you have seen A Quiet Place 1 but you're debating about watching A Quiet Place 2, if you love monsters, like those monster flicks kind of things, this is the film for you. Now, when it comes to the actors and actresses, Emily Blunt, she gives a strong performance. John Krasinski is only in there for about 10 to 15 minutes, but of course he's also good in it. Millicent Simmonds, she was more of the star in the first one. This one, she has a bit of a she's kind of on a bit of a back burner, but she still is a big focal point of the film. Noah Jupe, I'll say this, he has more on-time screen time, and also he's a little bit more important than when he was in the first movie, and he gives a decent performance. Cillian Murphy, however, I'm a big lover of Cillian Murphy's films. Of course, he was in Batman Begins as Scarecrow. I wish we saw more of him as Scarecrow. He was also in The Peaky Blinders, which I didn't actually finish. I'm like 5 or 6 seasons. I'm on like season 4, I think. I don't even know how many seasons there are. But he's pretty much the star of the show. And he is pretty much, him and Millicent's character are basically, they're kind of together. And then Emily Blunt, Noah Jupe, is the other part of the film. Their characters are more situated with each other. So essentially, Noah Jupe, shouldn't say Noah Jupe, but basically they are traveling. The family are traveling, throughout the wasteland, looking for a new place to, kind of rest and whatever. And unfortunately, Noah Jupe's character basically gets his foot stuck in kind of a trap. But I don't know if it's a trap for the monsters or if it's just a trap for the other humans, because humans have kind of started to deteriorate and gone into the different kind of cliques, and there's good ones and bad ones, but that unfortunately really does injure him, and of course lets out a scream which attracts the monsters. Now, Cillian Murphy's character is like kind of watching them to see how they kind of do. Like, he doesn't really want to bring attention to them, but as he does see that they are capable of defending for themselves, he ends up trying to help them. Unfortunately for Cillian, we find out that his family, they didn't really make it, and it should be worth noting that actually the two families do actually know each other before the event had happened, but of course, because of what happened, they had to go their own separate ways, and you know that kind of builds up later on into the film. Now, whilst they're hiding away in a bunker, they end up hearing a song across the sea, which I'm sure is a song from Little Mermaid, which is kind of giving them a hidden clue to, you know, travel, or to basically make their way across the river so that they can come onto an island which is deemed to be monster proof because the monsters aren't able to basically swim. So overall, my overall thoughts on the film, it's 1 hour 30 minutes. Now, it doesn't always feel that short. Sometimes it does feel like it's a bit dragging. But overall, I've got to say, A Quiet Place 2 is a terrific film. All the actors and actresses do a superb job. The chemistry, you know, again, terrific. It's a very unique premise, and I really do hope that we get to see a third one. One of my gripes which I have with the film is with the ending, and the reason why I say the ending, because they pretty much do the same thing which they did in the first one with how they got rid of the monsters, all kind of danger, and I feel like I wish they would have gone in a different route. But you know, hopefully, if they do make a third one, which I'm pretty sure there will be, because the box office has shown that it's made a lot of money. And of course, nowadays films are not made for the story aspect; they're made for making money. And hopefully we'll get another third one, which I really do hope that is kind of the last movie of the franchise, unless of course something wild and just spontaneous happens. But overall, I've got to say, A Quiet Place 2 Part 2 is a brilliant job. I wouldn't say it's better than the first one. Of course, the first one is brilliant for viewers who are looking for suspense and thriller. This one is more for people who are into monsters and action and fighting. When, you know, that's the kind of the difference between the two. But yeah, my overall rating for the film would have to be 7.5. I'm gonna say that I don't think that this one is better than the first one. I still prefer the first one to this one, but you know, that's just my thoughts. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will be Space Jam. Unfortunately, that was, but you'll see you all in my next review, which will be coming out later today, which I'm going to film straight after filming and editing this one. But yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you all on my next video. Peace.